Consider beginning a mission to disappear without a trace. What if you disappeared, leaving only questions and confusion? From a famed pilot's final flight to a lighthouse that went black overnight, these disappearance stories have baffled experts and sparked the public's interest. Join us as we explore history's greatest mysteries, where every clue raises new questions and each story remains a riveting enigma. Are you prepared to explore the unknown? Let us tackle these puzzles together. Amelia Earhart was a gutsy and adventurous pilot who created headlines throughout the world. She was known for breaking records, pushing limits, and motivating people worldwide, particularly women, to pursue their ambitions. In 1937, she embarked on her most audacious quest yet, a mission to fly around the world. Amelia and her navigator, Fred Noonan, had already completed most of the trip. She was on the verge of accomplishing something no other woman had ever done. On July 2nd, Amelia and Fred were flying over the Pacific Ocean, heading toward Howland Island, a small dot in the huge ocean. Everything appeared to be going as planned until something went wrong. Amelia sent out a radio message stating that they were running low on fuel and could not see the island. It was the last anyone had heard from her. After that, Amelia, Fred, and their plane vanished. The U.S. Navy began a major search effort but discovered nothing. There is no plane, no debris, and no clues. Amelia Earhart disappeared without a trace. Throughout the years, numerous ideas have attempted to explain what occurred. Some believe her plane crashed into the ocean and plummeted to the bottom, lost forever. Others think she may have landed on a deserted island and survived for a while. There are even claims that the Japanese captured her during World War II, or that she returned to the United States under a different name. But, despite numerous searches and inquiries, no one has been able to explain the mystery. Amelia Earhart's disappearance remains one of history's greatest mysteries, with everyone wondering what happened to the famed pilot. Consider starting a new life in a distant nation. That's exactly what around 100 English settlers did in 1587 when they arrived on Roanoke Island, off the coast of North Carolina. They arrived with high aspirations for establishing a new colony in the New World. Led by John White, the colony encountered early problems, but was able to establish dwellings and plan for the future. After a few months, John White went to England to gather supplies and additional immigrants. However, his journey was delayed due to the start of the war between England and Spain. When he returned to Roanoke Island 3 years later, he was surprised to find the colony completely abandoned. There was no indication of the settlers, not a single person, and all of their homes were abandoned. The sole hint left was a single word etched into a tree: Croatians. This was the name of a neighboring Native American tribe. But what did it mean? Had the settlers moved to join the Croatians? Or had something awful arise to them? Despite many searches and inquiries throughout the years, no one has ever discovered what happened to the Roanoke colony. The mystery of the lost colony remains unanswered, perplexing historians and fans alike. Did the settlers mix with the native tribes, or did they suffer a more terrible fate? The solution is still unknown, making Roanoke Island a location of enduring mystery. In November 1971, a guy with the personality D.B. Cooper boarded an aircraft from Portland to Seattle. He was dressed in a suit and tie, holding a briefcase. During the trip, he presented a note to a flight attendant, claiming to have a bomb and demanding $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck waiting in Seattle. To ensure passenger and crew safety, the airline and authorities met his demands to ensure the safety of the passengers and crew. When the plane landed in Seattle, Cooper released the passengers in exchange for the money and parachutes. He then took off in the plane, flying over the rough wilderness of Washington state. During the flight, He opened a rear stairwell door and parachuted out into the night, disappearing into the darkness. Despite a massive manhunt and an FBI investigation, Cooper was never apprehended. Years later, pieces of the ransom money were recovered and buried in the sand, but no sign of Cooper remained. The case has perplexed detectives for decades. Did Cooper make it through the jump? If so, where has he gone? Was he a professional criminal or just a regular guy with an incredible plan? D.B. Cooper's mystery remains one of the most intriguing unsolved cases in American history, enthralling the public with its intrigue and unresolved questions. The Mary Celeste set sail from New York City in November 1872, bound for Genoa, Italy. It was a standard merchant ship hauling cargo, and everything appeared normal. But just over a month later, on December 5th, the ship was discovered drifting in the Atlantic Ocean, utterly abandoned. Another vessel, the Dei Gratia, exposed the Mary Celeste to be strangely empty. The ship was in excellent shape, the cargo was undamaged, and the crew's things remained on board. Even the ship's log, which had been properly kept, revealed no symptoms of problems until the final entry, 10 days before the discovery. There were no traces of a struggle, and the lifeboat disappeared. Whatever happened to the crew? Where did they go, and why did they leave the ship so quickly? Theories abound, ranging from a sudden storm that pushed them overboard to a rebellion or even otherworldly causes. Despite extensive examinations, no definitive proof has ever been discovered. The mystery surrounding the Mary Celeste continues to perplex historians and maritime fans, making it one of the most intriguing disappearances at sea. On Christmas Eve of 1945, the Sodders' home in Fayetteville, West Virginia, caught fire. George and Jenny Sodder were inside with their 9 children. The parents and 4 children left, but 5 of the Sodder children have never been seen since. The fire was intense, and the house was completely destroyed, but no remains were ever found. The mystery was heightened when the investigation revealed that the fire department had found no evidence of the children's remains. Residents who claimed to have seen the missing children after the fire reported even more unusual sightings. These stories sparked suspicions about foul activity or kidnapping. Threatening letters and phone calls were addressed to the Sodder family, raising questions regarding their disappearance. The Sodder family received countless intriguing tales and sightings throughout the years, but no significant evidence was ever unearthed. The case remains unresolved, making the fate of the 5 missing children a troubling mystery. The Sodder family's search for the truth became an endless quest for answers, but the fire's shadow still hangs over their story, leaving many questions unanswered. On March 8, 2014, Malaysian Airlines flight MH370 took off from Kuala Lumpur bound for Beijing, carrying 239 passengers. Everything appeared normal until, about an hour into the journey, the plane vanished from radar. The aircraft's last transmission was a regular message to air traffic control, following which it vanished without a trace. A major worldwide search operation was begun, spanning millions of square miles of the Indian Ocean. Despite intensive attempts from several countries and advanced equipment, no wreckage was discovered for months. In July 2015, a flapper, a wing component, was revealed on the island of Reunions, far from the plane's last known location. This piece of evidence established that the jet had crashed, but it did not explain what transpired in the closing hours of the flight. There are numerous theories surrounding the disappearance, including mechanical failure, hijacking, and pilot error. The absence of clear proof, combined with the enormous search region, made it one of the greatest mysteries in contemporary aviation history. The loss of MH370 has left families and investigators seeking answers, trying to learn the truth about the horrific tragedy. In 1918, Russia was experiencing a revolution. The Romanov family, including the young Anastasia Romanov, was imprisoned following the collapse of the Russian throne. Anastasia, the youngest daughter of Tsar Nicholas II, was just 17 years old. The Bolsheviks executed the Romanovs in a cellar in Ekaterinburg, although the specific circumstances of their murders remain unknown. For years, rumors circulated that Anastasia had somehow survived the execution. In the 1920s, a lady named Anna Anderson claimed to be Anastasia, which sparked widespread media coverage and controversy. Anderson's story was supported by credible details, although her assertions were never fully validated. DNA studies in the 1990s revealed that Anastasia was not a Romanov, but the mystery of her fate remained. The discovery of the Romanov family's bones in the 1990s served to answer many issues, but it also revealed that 2 of the family members were missing, sparking fresh suspicion regarding Anastasia's fate. Did she flee, or was she shielded by sympathizers? Anastasia Romanov's mystery continues to fascinate historians and the general public, as her disappearance is part of the Romanovs' larger, sad story. In December 1900, 3 lighthouse keepers, James Ducat, Thomas Marshall, and Donald MacArthur, were stationed at the remote Flannan Isles Lighthouse off the coast of Scotland. The lighthouse was critical in directing ships safely across the dangerous waters of the Outer Hebrides. But when a passing ship's crew went to check on the lighthouse, they discovered it was unoccupied and the light was out. The lighthouse keepers had left behind their half-eaten lunches, personal belongings, and even their coats, but there was no trace of them. A search turned up no evidence of the men, and no storms or rough weather were reported. They seemed to have vanished without a trace. The only clue was a log entry from a few days prior that highlighted odd, disturbing conditions and a sense of foreboding. Several ideas have been postulated, including a sudden storm and a suspected encounter with a marine monster. Some say that the men abandoned their posts due to a fatal event or a mental breakdown. However, no tangible proof has ever been discovered. The fate of the Flannan Isles Lighthouse keepers remains unknown, making it an enduring mystery that fascinates and perplexes people. Glenn Miller was a well-known American large band conductor and pianist during World War II. He was known for his smooth and vibrant music, and he served as a major in the Army Air Force, entertaining troops around the world. On December 15, 1944, Miller boarded a small, single-engine plane in England, bound for Paris to play for the troops. The weather was bad, with fog and rain making visibility extremely low. Miller's flight was supposed to be brief, but it never arrived in Paris. The aircraft, its pilot, and Miller vanished without a trace. Despite a comprehensive search of the English Channel and adjacent areas, no wreckage or evidence were discovered. Glenn Miller's disappearance became one of Wubby-Thu's most lasting mysteries. Some assume the jet crashed into the channel or was lost due to inclement weather. Others believe it could have been a mechanical malfunction or a navigational error. The exact cause of Miller's disappearance is unknown, prompting fans and historians to speculate about the fate of one of America's most renowned wartime artists. The Bermuda Triangle, sometimes known as the Devil's Triangle, is an area of the Atlantic Ocean bordered by Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. Over the years, this region has developed a reputation for inexplicable ship and aircraft disappearances. The tale began to spread in the mid-20th century, with reports of ships and planes disappearing without a trace, frequently under unexplained circumstances. One of the most well-known incidents is the disappearance of Flight 19, a squadron of 5 torpedo bombers on a normal training trip in 1945. The pilots experienced difficulty and became lost. Despite intense searches, neither the planes nor the crew were ever discovered. Later, a rescue plane dispatched to find them also vanished. Theories range from navigational errors and meteorological events to far-fetched theories such as alien abductions or underwater bases. Some scientists believe that the Bermuda Triangle's reputation stems from natural phenomena such as unpredictable weather, methane gas eruptions from the ocean floor, and powerful underwater currents. Despite various research and answers, the Bermuda Triangle remains a source of intrigue and mystery. The legends of lost ships and planes continue to captivate people's imaginations, keeping the Bermuda Triangle enigma alive. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of history's most fascinating scandals, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to Silent Centuries. We're uncovering forgotten tales and hidden stories from the past every week, and you won't want to miss out on our next captivating episode. Join our community of history enthusiasts, and let's explore the secrets of Silent Centuries together. Click the bell icon to get notified whenever a new video drops. Thanks for watching, and stay curious.